Quiddy Boy, episode 99. How
99
good?
not out.
99. Wow.
We were having a bit of a discussion before recording, and it's actually quite amazing to think we've come this far. I mean, we won't get too sentimental. We'll save that for episode 100, but geez, we've come a long way. We had to listen to our first episode, and safe to say, I don't want anyone to listen to that ever again.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't listen to it. It was too much.
It was tough. It was a tough listen.
It's just bizarre. Two nervous young boys. Nervous for not sure why, but we were nervous and slurring our words a bit and taking deep breaths and nervous laughs. And
Imagine we were live.
yeah.
We had the luxury to go back and edit the recording. Imagine if we were live. It would have been completely different. But nonetheless, we've grown. We've come a long way. And,
Yeah, we have.
episode 99, it's big. It's big. It's bye week as well. So it was good. We could focus a lot more carefully on some of the individual games.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was good. Good week of footy.
It was good. And celebrating, or not celebrating, but 99, Fev, up there on the screen.
Yeah, that
as
was
well.
tough. That was tough for Carlton
It was
supporters.
the first thing I thought of when I thought of 99. What photo can we put up there? Sums it up perfectly, I reckon. So
Yeah, that was a tough one for footy fans in general, not just Blues
yeah.
supporters, because that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that Clarko's ruined for everybody now. So I hope you're happy, Clarko. But yeah, anyway, we'll move on from that.
thanks, Clarko.
That was
All
2008. It was a long time ago.
What was that? Jeez, the social media manager, seriously. Cackling Jack.
You wonder what we pay her for sometimes.
You've lost your chance to come on now. All right. Now, where are we? All right, let's talk round 12.
Can you tell we're 99 episodes in?
All right, round 12. Geelong making their move. What do we reckon? Jeremy Cameron on fire, 6 goals.
He's had 2 really good weeks of footy in a row now.
Yep.
And he's absolutely flying, so they'd be loving life, the Cats. And like you said, just on a roll, hitting the straps at the right time, like still midway through the year, obviously, but they're just getting the job done when they need to and going to Marvel Stadium and getting over the top of the Doggies, who usually play pretty good footy there. It was a good result.
Yeah, I mean, that absolutely smashed them in the first quarter. It was almost game over by quarter time.
I think it was like 7 goals to 1 or something like that at the end of the first.
Yeah,
So
but the Dogs did well to get back into it, but you almost think, as good as Geelong were in that first quarter, the Bulldogs dominated the next 3. So they probably should have won it in the end, the Dogs, I think.
their first quarter was just too poor.
Yeah.
And I think that was the issue. I mean, I think it was 1 goal 5 to 7 goals 2 at the end of the first.
Yeah.
And after half time, Geelong only kicked 4 goals.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
The Bulldogs really should have clinched that one, and arguably the better team for majority of the game. It was just that 1 quarter really let them down.
Yeah. No, I think Geelong they always do this though. They're a bit up and down, the first half of the season, and then they know how to come good at the right time, and they've got a lot of players to come back as well. So I think they'll be right up there again. I think you can never doubt them.
No, that's the problem with or the upside of Geelong, depending which side of the fence you're sitting on. But yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where Geelong will do what they have to at the right time of the year, especially with a lot of their veterans. They're well and truly experienced in this area.
What about Baz's ban in that same game as well? What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting one. Yeah, it's not every day you see someone headbutt somebody.
Yeah.
Once again, it sort of upsets me with the inconsistency of the MRO. I mean, I think the 2-week ban was fair. But then, you go back and the Buddy one was only a week. And then the couple of weeks before that, there was a Marlon Pickett, which was just a bump into the arm that was deemed as it could have been dangerous, was a week as well. And it's like, well, hang on, I don't know how they decide what gets given what. But I thought the 2X was definitely there. You can't go headbutting blokes. It's especially to the head, which is what we're trying to wipe out. So fair play, but it was interesting. I think after the game as well, Zach Tui and Bailey Smith, they were sort of, having a chat and having a laugh about it. So it was, all no harm done.
Yeah,
but,
it's just the heat of the moment sort of stuff, isn't it?
White line fever.
Happens,
a lot of players get that. And I guess that's one of the beauties of our game. Is a lot of the time there's not a grudge that's being held. It's usually once the game's done, that's sort of it. Swept under the rug. So
Would you see the shiner that came up on Tui's head as well? Like
I did
straight
see
away.
that, yeah.
So you got him pretty hard. So I think that 2 weeks feels right.
Yeah,
to me.
3 would have been way too much.
Yeah, I think 2 is
and
perfect.
one wouldn't have been enough. So 2 is right on the money. Did you see what Zach Tui said after the game in the change rooms in a post-game interview?
No.
They were asking about Bailey Smith, and Tui pretty much goes, I think Bailey Smith's sort of winning in all aspects of life, more so than me. So, whatever happens to him, happens to him. I think he's winning regardless. So
that's a fair call.
Which, with everything that's going on in Baslenka's life at the moment, from the Cotton On ads and Monster Energy, he's doing a lot.
He was front and center of all the boxing stuff that was happening during the week.
Yeah,
as
with
well.
the Monster Energy crew, he was with all them. He met Damian Lillard the other night.
Yep.
Dame time. So
Yeah,
that
Dame
was,
time.
a bit of
Crazy that
AFL,
Dame
NBA
time was here.
crossover.
How
Well, he
cool.
came for the boxing, and that's,
Yeah.
it was good that he went to a game of footy, and hopefully, not that he's going to go spread the message, but hopefully tells a few of his teammates and sort of the AFL or the word gets out a little bit more because it truly is an incredible game.
I reckon he's definitely raving about it to his mates right now.
Oh, yeah,
for
100%. 100%. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. So.
What about the D's?
2 in a row.
Are they seriously derailed now?
I think that's a stretch. I think it's fun to say the term derailed, but it's definitely no concerning signs there. Sydney are a great side.
Yep.
They lost to a very good Sydney team. And the week before, obviously, a very good Fremantle side. So
Yep.
no harm done. They're still missing some key players that'll come
Yep.
back. And I still think they're cruising about 70% Melbourne at this stage. So
I'll be right.
once they hit their straps, they'll be fine. I mean,
I think
one goes
if
undefeated.
this drags on though, then there definitely could be some serious concerns.
Yeah.
But if they get, if it's only a couple in a row, they'll bounce back. They'll be fine.
I'm
But
pretty sure last year they went 9-0. And then I think the back half of the year, their record was 4-4.
yeah,
And they still finished top of the ladder and won the flag. So
they lost to Adelaide, Collingwood. I think they drew with Hawthorn the back half.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the
So it
others.
might have been the
but
4 wins, 4 losses, but there was a draw in there as
Yeah.
well, which I
Yep.
which I missed. But yeah, so there's no concerns, concerning signs there at all.
Yeah. Their performance probably in that second half was a bit flat compared to what they usually produce. But I think they'll be fine. And Sydney and Freo are both two great teams as well. So Max Gawn was unbelievable as well
As always. But it honestly reminiscent of the prelim final last year.
Yeah,
The way he played.
Yeah, he was great.
Sydney, once they get up and going, they're so energetic without Buddy as well. Tom Papley, the way he celebrates.
So
I mean,
good.
you hate it when it's against your club, but how good's his
Yeah,
celebrations?
very good. And tell you what, I was at that game on Saturday night, and the Sydney crowd, they were louder than the Melbourne crowd, and Melbourne supporters that were there were also saying it as well.
Well, we brought it up last week on the podcast, and it was posted on our socials during the week. What is going on, Melbourne fans?
Not sure.
On SCN, and numerous supporters today rang up and said that it's really poor. Like, your reigning premiers, where are you? And I use the term plastic fans, and until I start seeing more fans in the crowd, I'm sticking by it. You can buy as many cheese boards as you want, but if you're not going to get down to support your club,
But why are they plastic? They've just won the premiership.
Well, I don't
it's not like
understand.
there's nothing to jump off on.
I know there's certain reasons why people aren't going, but their crowd attendances have been very
it
poor.
has. The last couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, have been terrible.
And they've got a really good stretch of like home games, or technically they're playing Collingwood as an away game, but it's at the G.
Yep.
And we'll talk about the Collingwood Melbourne game coming up, obviously, shortly. But Collingwood, you would expect, are going to bring 85% of the crowd.
Yeah, I know. It's bizarre. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm just, you speak from previous experience when, the reigning premier from the year before, the games are packed. Like when the Tigers were flying, I mean, you still get massive crowds now, but when you guys were flying, you're pulling big crowds every week.
Oh, the numbers were doubled. When you're successful, the numbers double. And everyone makes jokes about bandwagon supporters and all that, but it's just a given. Of course,
It just
is.
happens. Yeah.
People are more, like, the more of your half-ass sort of supporters are going to be more inclined to go when your team's winning, and that's just a given fact. Doesn't matter what club you support; it's going to be across the board. That's just the way it is, and that's why I'm so surprised that Melbourne are reigning premiers. They were undefeated for majority of this season, and the crowds are still really poor. And I'd love I know there's not going to be an explanation, but I'd love one if there was.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because I feel like all the Melbourne supporters that we know are going to the games.
So we can't even.
So it's hard. You can't ask them because they're going. It's who are the ones that aren't going. That's what I'd love to know what their mindset is. And I don't know, is it because it's cold now and ski season's around the corner? Are they all heading off there? Who knows? But
yeah, I mean, we touched on it last week as well, and we said that they're not going to be as big as some of the big four clubs.
no, you can't compare.
They're not the same sort of size, but it's still.
You'd expect more than 32,000 to a top four matchup on a Saturday night.
Melbourne, Sydney, Saturday night, primetime viewing.
No local footy.
There's no. I can't see any reason why you wouldn't beat that game if you're a Melbourne supporter. And credit to the Swans. I mean, there's a lot of South Melbourne fans, obviously, that
they're loud.
that live in Melbourne. But it was so good to see them up and about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you mentioned the Pies before. Are they finals bound? They've won 3 on the trot now.
I think so. If they continue this form, absolutely. They're playing some finals style football at the moment, and when it gets down to it, I mean, obviously last week they had a close win against you boys, and then this week against Hawthorn, another close one. Like they're just getting the job done, and when it gets tight, they seem to find a way.
Yeah.
And players are stepping up. Ollie Henry.
Yeah, he was good.
I mean, for those who didn't see it, Ollie Henry's stepped up, taken a big mark, gone back, missed the set shot. Most guys his age are going to think, someone else should take the net. Like, that's it. Like, I've ruined the chance. Let it get to your head. 2 minutes later, he's taken another massive grab, gone back, kicked the goal. Like, he didn't let it affect his confidence at all. He's gone back and slotted it and arguably won the game for them. It's just players like that are stepping up in big moments that you wouldn't normally expect. They're not relying on Pendlebury or side bottom or Degoe. They're letting. I mean, Degoe did kick a big goal, but it's all these young guys that are coming through that are doing some great things.
Yeah, for sure. And Hawthorn were great in that game too. Collingwood dominated the first half, but once the rain started coming down, Hawthorn really looked like the better team, and that Hawthorn probably should have won it.
They should have clinched it in the end.
Yeah,
they were probably stiff not to hold on to that one.
But the last 10 minutes, Collingwood got the job done. Like as pretty much similar to what they did the week before.
Absolutely, they just found a way to scrap it out and get the win. And it was really good seeing the battle of probably the two favourites for Rising Star nomination in Nick Dacos and Newcomb.
John Newcomb.
I was about to say Josh. I'm like, I know it's not Josh.
No.
John Newcomb.
Well, Nick Dacos had 36.
36.
Unbelievable.
36 and 22 kicks. And I think
for a first-year player.
Oh, and Newcomb had, I think, 24 and like 12 tackles or something. Like that. Completely different style of player, but both had arguably a similar influence on the game.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great to see that, two young guys just going head to head. And, you look at the odds and a lot of places, they're pretty much even for Rising Star Award this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Dacos is freakish. A once-in-a-generation kind of player. Getting 36 touches in your first season is crazy.
It's not the first time. Like, I think this is probably his best game.
Yeah.
But he's had a lot of high disposal games since being in the league. And it's only, round 11, round 12? Round 12, so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, also in that game, Jack Ginnivan, he was a bit of a talking point. Not exactly for the right reasons. But
not the reasons he has been the last few weeks. And it's Cody Waitman's in the same boat this week as well. And obviously a little bit about them sort of playing for free kicks and, milking it a little bit. And look, I think they do. I mean, Cody Waitman's come out and said that it's his skill set is being able to play for free kicks and get himself in a position to win a free kick, and whether that's ducking or throwing your head back a little bit, putting a little bit of mayonnaise on it to look good for the umpires. But we saw that happen. But then on the other hand, we saw big moments missed in the last quarter of that Collingwood Hawthorn game where I thought Jack Ginnivan was taken fairly around the neck. Like, he didn't duck or anything.
Definitely.
But it wasn't paid, and I think that's partly a bit of a boy who cried wolf situation.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what's happening at the moment. I know Waitman came out and said that he's got the skill set to get these free kicks. So when you're saying that, you're opening it up for the umpire. Then the umpires don't want to look stupid as well. So they're not going to pay it if you're known for playing for free kicks,
Because they're going to be like, oh, I fell for it.
Yeah, exactly. So they've dug themselves a little bit there. They've probably gone a bit too much over the edge with it, I feel. But at the same time, it's up to the umpires to, if the free kick's there, you pay the free kick.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what I didn't like with it, was the fact that, yes, they did maybe play for it a little bit earlier in the game, but at the end, towards the end when it was happening, it's a different situation. Like, it's almost like you got to wipe your memory and start from scratch with these guys, because you can't just not pay it because, he ducked earlier.
Yeah.
You have to pay it. It's there. And, they won Collingwood, which was lucky for them, but if they had a loss and Ginnivan missed out on a shot on goal 15 metres out, you'd be hearing from it from Collingwood fans.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, he's a great young player, and he'll be another one. He'll be up there in the Rising Star this year as well.
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't be far off at all.
Yeah.
Especially his influence on the scoreboard, I think, is probably
Yeah.
the biggest thing that he does. Absolutely.
Yeah, so, no, he's great. Probably one of the most watchable players in the AFL at the moment too.
Oh, yeah, he's just so exciting, isn't he?
Yeah.
Every time he goes near it, the crowd goes nuts. They love him.
Yeah.
They love him over there at Holden Centre. Oh, what's it called now? It's a different name now,
It's
isn't
not
it?
Holden. It's what is
AAI
it?
Vitality?
Yeah,
Vitality
something
Centre?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they've changed it. They've changed a few times now, but down at Collingwood, we should say. So,
Yeah.
they love Ginnivan down there.
Yeah. What about the Gold Coast Suns?
They're still flying. They're hot. I mean,
Is this
it was against North.
Still,
But
they dominated. I think they got how many? It's like 78 inside 50s or something.
Yeah,
it was like a record.
It was ridiculous. And we say this, whenever someone beats a team like North or West Coast, you can only beat who's been put in front of you. And the way that they went about it wasn't just the win, it was the way they went about it, the way they played, the pure dominance that they showed. have you seen the rest of their fixture going forward?
Yeah.
I mean,
Great draw.
yeah, great draw. I mean, we're still talking about Gold Coast here, so anything could happen. I don't want to jump the gun.
Yeah.
But you look at who they've got. They've got some very, very winnable games for the rest of the year. They could very well make the 8. And, you know, as long as it doesn't push the Tigers out, I wouldn't mind that.
Well, that could be that spot. I think that 8th spot is really up for grabs, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's going to be a bit like last year.
Yeah.
I think. Where it's, you know, who wants to take it the most. And it's going to be down to who's hungrier.
Yeah, well, you got Richmond, Collingwood, Bulldogs, Gold Coast really fighting for that spot. Even Port.
Sydney are kind of there. I mean,
Sydney, yeah. I mean, they'd probably think they might finish a little bit higher, but it's going to be a bit of a logjam.
Yeah, the way they're playing now, you'd expect Sydney to finish higher, but then who knows if they have another slump like they did a few weeks ago and they lost to Gold Coast, you know, at the SCG, then who knows?
Yeah, exactly. But geez, you'd love if Richmond didn't make it, you'd probably choose Gold Coast to be the team that like took your spot, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
If you had to pick a team to take your spot, who would
Yeah, if I had to pick a team, I'd pick the Suns. Yeah. Yeah, for
just
sure.
because you've got no real like rivalry against them, or
Well, I'm still
and you've
dirty
never
about the
seen
games
them.
you lost at Cairns, which wasn't really. I mean, you can't fault a team for beating you, but nah,
Yeah.
definitely the Suns. Just more because it's a story. Like we haven't seen them play finals, and if it was
Yeah.
anyone that was going to do it, let's give it to a team that hasn't done it before.
Yeah.
You know, rather than a Bulldogs that's won a flag in recent times and things like that. So,
It's very well overdue.
oh
Way
yeah,
overdue.
they're too far gone now. And I mean, teams from all other codes famously don't last on the Gold Coast, and
Yeah.
the Suns have lasted a long time, but without playing finals, how much longer can that continue?
Exactly.
So there's all talks about that Tassie team coming in. If the Suns aren't playing finals, it'll be interesting. But I think they're a very good chance of playing finals this year.
Yeah. What about the great man Nat Fyfe?
Now, Fife made his debut for Peel Thunder this
Peel
weekend,
Thunder.
which did you see the crowd swarm him after the
Yeah,
game?
it was good.
I love that. I
Cool
thought that was
scenes.
cool. It
And he
felt
was
like-
very good about it too.
Absolutely. He was taking selfies. He was
Yeah.
getting around everyone. It felt like a bit of Buddy's 1,000th goal again
Yeah.
about it this year, but
Bit like
a
that.
smaller crowd, obviously. But no, I thought it was good. And good on, Nat Fyfe for deciding to go through the VFL, or the waffle, I should say, giving himself a bit of a warm-up or introduction back into footy before he takes it up to the big time with playing for the Dockers. So I didn't mind seeing that, but I did think it was funny when the Peel Thunder posted a photo of all the debutants for the day and you see Nat Fyfe standing there. A 2-time Brownlow medalist debuting, so I thought that
good,
was something
wasn't
funny.
it?
But awesome to see Fyfe back out there. He's one of my favourite players in the game. I love the way he goes about it, so I'm excited to see what he'll do for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, and look how good Freo are going at the moment, and just to think that they've got Nat Fyfe waiting to come back in is crazy. So they're only going to get better if they get half good Nat Fyfe, really. And Nat Fyfe at 50% is still a great player.
Oh, 100%. Where do you see them playing? Because that's been a bit of a talking point this week. Do you see them playing him back in that midfield? Because they don't really need him as a transition player. They've already got that with the players they've got on the park. I personally see him doing that bit of a dusty, go-y, sort of 50-50 midfield
I think
forward
50-50
role.
would be the way to go.
I know Fyfe came out earlier in the year and said the forward experiment with him is done, but I still see him playing a lot of time down forward. He's so good aerially. Like,
he is.
in the air, he's hard to stop for a guy his size.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see him play a bit more forward, but also, spend time in the midfield and do what he does best.
Yeah. I think both. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we know how good he is in the air and he can take a great mark. But, his midfield work, he's just a big body as well.
He's surprisingly big too. He goes under the radar for how big he actually is.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's going to be interesting because he hasn't played for a very long time as well. And, since the last time Nat Fyfe played, Freo were a very different team.
100%.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there, but it'd be great to see him back.
Absolutely. Well, Freo definitely weren't knocking off Melbourne and Brisbane 2 weeks in a row, were they?
No.
When Fyfe was playing. So
No,
all credit to the Dockers for doing what they're doing in recent times.
Yeah. AFL soft cap. I saw Dimmer Hardwick had a few things to say about this today. And what are your thoughts on it?
I thought the comments were a little bit interesting coming from Dimmer because it almost felt like he was, saying a little bit hard done by and whatnot. But I think it depends on which way you look at it. So what basically the complaint is at the moment is the soft cap has taken a lot of money away from coaches, staff, things like that. And the soft cap also contributes to the head coach's salary. So if you're successful, your head coach obviously gets paid more, does he not? Then a club like Noble at North is going to get paid a lot less than Dimmer or Goodwin. So that's just the way it's going to be. So what he's saying is because the Tigers, for example, are paying a lot or so much for him, they can't afford to have as many assistant coaches and other coaches around the players. And he's saying, well, all clubs should have the equal opportunity to have the same players around them. Like, why should our players be punished for having success in recent times compared to other teams that are lower on the ladder, and they get more support around them. And it wasn't just a Richmond thing. It was sort of all teams that are successful, but obviously having it in recent times, it looks like he's maybe having a bit of a cry. But I actually don't mind what he's saying. I think COVID's done now. We're starting to get crowds back, unless you're a Melbourne supporter. And I think, let's try and introduce these things back and get coaches back in, because a lot of coaches we're losing as well. AFL coaches are going to coach at local level, VFL level, because there's more money there than what they're going to get in the AFL. And I think that's wrong. So
yeah, no, I like it. It's man, since 2020, it's just been all over the shop with that sort of stuff as well. So
and I'm not saying we do a better job. Obviously, we've got no idea what we're talking about. But I just think, if there's a way to fix it where you can get these assistants back in and, everybody has the same amount of coaches and equal opportunity, I guess, to thrive, then why not?
Yeah. Descent rule.
This was the best news I've had all week. And especially we found out, 10 minutes before recording tonight?
Yeah.
And finally, I don't know if it was Brad Scott or who's pulled the pin here, but finally someone at the AFL has decided and realised that the descent rule had been taken too far, and hopefully this is the last night we'll have to talk about it. So they've loosened the interpretation of the descent rule now. So they're going to allow players to show emotion as long as they can also show restraint at the same time, which who knows how that's going to look. I mean, we're obviously going to have different interpretations of what emotional restraint looks like, but at least now hopefully we can see some players raise their arms at least and sort of question the decision or, yell to themselves or something, without seeing a 50-metre penalty that's game costly.
So you're saying the Degoe one from a few weeks ago won't be a 50 anymore?
No, won't be a 50. They actually said that in the interpretation rule that one would not be a 50 anymore, which it shouldn't be. That's not a 50-metre penalty in anyone's eyes. Yeah. So I'm glad they're changing that. They're loosening the interpretation. It's only a matter of time before it gets thrown out altogether, I think. That and the stand rule, I wouldn't mind. Yeah,
well, I'm glad they're actually doing something about it, and they're not being stubborn as what Brad Scott was a few weeks ago when he came out and said it's all fine, nothing to see here.
Well, I wonder if they're not. I've seen a lot of comments saying that the whole idea behind this rule was to bring more respect to umpires and all the rest of it. I feel like it's done the exact opposite. And by no fault of the umpires, they're just doing what they're told, but the rules are so hard to adjudicate, and everyone now is hating on umpires week in, week out. And there's always, how many episodes have we done this year alone where there's been a segment where I've trash talked the umpires or a decision that was made? Lots, pretty much every episode. So hopefully this will be the end of it. I know it won't be, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. I like it. All right, let's move on to round 13, second week of the bye rounds, another short weekend of footy. Thursday night footy's back though, which is great.
Very interesting. They've got Thursday night on a bye week where there's less games.
Yeah, so it's like a game a day, isn't there?
Yeah, which I don't mind. At least it's consistent in terms of where the footy's on.
So you've got Thursday, Friday. So one game Thursday, one game Friday, one game Saturday,
two games Saturday.
One game Saturday.
Oh,
one game Saturday night. Yeah. One game Sunday, one game Monday.
I don't mind that. At least it's consistent. They're not overlapping.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
which is something different. Normally,
less games for us
overlap.
to watch per day. But,
exactly right.
Oh well. But Thursday night, Richmond Port.
Geez, big game.
You there?
Back at the G. I'll be there. Absolutely. Excited back for Thursday night footy. I enjoy.
It'll be good.
Enjoy going midweek, which is good. But it'll be a good game. Richmond Port. Some players expected to come back, I think, from both sides. So really interesting clash on our hands here. I mean, being at the G and I think we're hopefully hit some good form with a couple of players coming back in Kane Lambert and Noah Bolter. I think the Tigers will get the job done, but I've seen Port Adelaide do scary things at the G, especially this year. So as you remember, but I'll give the Tigers the win here.
Yeah. I think Richmond, just because it's at the MCG. But I think it's going to be a great game. It wouldn't surprise me if Port get real close. But I think the Tigers is Lynch back this week?
No, he's back for Carlton the week after.
Great. Well, speaking of key forwards, the next game, Essendon and Carlton, MCG, Friday night footy. Big Harry Mackay might be back this week as well.
He's pushing.
Ahead of schedule. So that's going to be huge. I mean, the game speaks for itself, really. Essendon and Carlton, no matter what's going on at both clubs, it's always a massive game. It's the game I look forward to the most every year, and the game I get the most nervous about because you really just you can't lose this. You can't. The consequences of losing this is real bad.
Now, you said that last week about the Pies game, but I think this is just another level. This is a lot worse, isn't it?
This is worse. Just because Essendon and Carlton had very similar paths over the last 20 years where we've both been very average. Where Collingwood and Richmond have had their success, where Essendon and Carlton, the two of the big four, have just sort of had the same shit, really.
You're both on about similar amount of premierships too, aren't you?
Yeah, both on 16. So whenever we play each other, it's always that's the big game, because we've never really had too many other. We've never been towards the top of the ladder, is what I'm trying to say. So we've always this rivalry's always gotten bigger and bigger. But with the way Essendon's going at the moment, I'd definitely expect us to win that.
I really can't see Essendon winning many games unless it's against North or West Coast. So yeah, for me, Carlton for sure. But on that, you spoke about Harry Mackay coming back. As a Carlton fan, if they're bringing him back ahead of schedule, but it's a game against a team like Essendon that, apart from yourself, most people would expect Carlton to win, would you prefer them to risk him and bring him back a week early, or wait the extra week and bring him back against the Tigers a week after? I know it's a tough one because you don't want to say any game is a gimme, but...
Yeah, I don't feel like they'd risk him, to be honest. I feel like if he plays, he's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're risking him. No way, especially with a likely finals series that we're going to play this year. You just can't risk him. Just if he's right, play him. If he's not, save him for Richmond the week after.
No, absolutely.
But I'd love to see him out. I think he will play. That's what all the talk's been so far this week. So... and geez, we need our key position players back, because we are running thin on them. So I wouldn't mind Wettering coming back this week, though. That'd be nice.
I feel like they'd be pushing him. I feel like they'd be pushing him.
Yeah, very unlikely. But yeah, it should be a good game on Friday nights. It's also Essendon's 150th year anniversary, which is definitely something to mention.
That's massive for the Bombers. It's they're a very prestigious club. We obviously hang a bit of shit on them here, but 150 years is a long time to be around in the comp, and obviously 16 premierships have done a lot of great things in their time, so in a bit of a down slump now, but yeah, a lot to celebrate for Bomber supporters.
Yep, absolutely, and let's hope the Blues can spoil the party.
Well, you spoiled Richmond's 100th year celebratory game.
When was that?
2008.
Okay. We also spoiled Collingwood's 125th.
So we like
spoiling parties.
Yeah, you're going to say you got a history of doing so hopefully it's good signs for Blues fans.
Yep, fingers crossed. Saturday Arvo, or Saturday Twilight, we've got Freo and Hawthorn at Optus. Freo.
In Melbourne, you say this would be a great game with Hawthorn the way they've been playing, but yeah, you can't go past Freo. They're in too good a form at the moment, and Nat 5 potentially back. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Freo for me as well. Saturday night, Brisbane Saints at the Gabba. This will be a good game.
This will be a really good game. Saints have been playing some good footy at the moment. You don't really see Brisbane losing at the Gabba to anyone just about. Yep. So I'm going to go Brisbane, but it's probably going to be one of the most anticipated games for me this week anyway.
Yep. No, I think Brisbane as well at the Gabba. They'll definitely want to bounce back after last week. But I think if the Saints can win this one, oh boy, they'll be up and about, and I think they'll be seriously talked about as well if they aren't already. But I think they can knock off Brisbane at the Gabba. They'll be huge for their top 4 aspirations. And Sunday we've got North Melbourne and GWS at Marvel. I mean, you say that, but GWS aren't too flash either.
No, but North aren't good.
I'm
North
not
good.
Not going to try.
Big call this week.
No.
Giants will get this one done quite comfortably, you'd imagine.
Yeah. And then the final game of the round on Monday, we've got the traditional Queen's birthday clash between Collingwood and Melbourne.
The big freeze celebration.
The big freeze as
so
well.
If you haven't got your beanie, go down and grab one. I've got mine on today.
Wear it. Oh well.
No, you got more hair than me, so I got to keep my noggin warm.
Not really at the moment.
Yeah, you've gone short. But now I got the beanie on tonight, and yeah, if you can go down and get one, support the cause. It's obviously a great thing. A lot of people obviously have them already. It's been going around for how many years is it now?
I think it's the 8th. Is it the 8th one?
Yeah, I think it might be. So it's a long time going, but it's a great cause, and we all love getting around it. So get around that. But yeah, this is going to be. The way the Pies are playing, this could be a really, really good game. And I said that the Brisbane St Kilda game could be my most anticipated game, but this is definitely pushing it as well.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I think the Pies they'll really fancy their chances here, especially with Melbourne's form and Collingwood's form, complete opposite at the moment. So, but geez, you think if Melbourne are the team that we all think they are, they win this.
Yeah, I find it hard to tip against Melbourne at all this year, regardless of having 2 losses in a row. Yep. So for me, it's going to be Melbourne, but I'm really looking forward to the game on hand.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It always is. Always a great day. All right, that is round 13 done.
It's a bit quicker when there's bye rounds, isn't it?
You
get through it.
It absolutely flies. And now we're already at your Crimea River if you've got one.
Yeah, it's been tough this week. There's not really much to sort of have a sook about. It's been a short week, which I haven't minded. It's been all right. A bit of a rest week for us. no stressing about our teams winning or losing. So I haven't minded that too much. So I think I'm going to pass this week on the Crimey
We
Rule.
can pass.
There's no point crying about something for the sake of crying about something. So if I don't have it, I'm not going to bring it up. So no, nothing for me this week.
Yeah. No. Okay. So you just leave me to do the big call by myself.
Absolutely,
right.
mate.
Well, do you want to do the big call instead?
No.
Okay. Good. What was mine last? Oh, yeah, that's right. Gold Coast to make finals. So we'll never know until another couple of months.
That one's smart. So hopefully we forget that you made the call.
So I probably should do a weekly one this week, and I'm not doing North.
North, you are a write-off, surely.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing North.
Collingwood to beat the Dees.
No, I don't think I'm going to go head-to-head. I think I'm going to do tough one. It is a real tough one.
Hey? This is the spontaneity of it.
Nat Fyfe returns against the Hawks. Kicks 3, has 30.
Oh, jeez. All right, I love it. But that's, I mean, that's the definition of big call.
Are you doubting a dual Brownlow medalist, are you?
Yeah.
In peak condition. Look at his pipes. Look at his body at the moment.
He looks fantastic, but he hasn't played footy in a long time.
But he's Nat Fyfe.
I'm going to write this down. Nat Fyfe, 30-3.
Yeah. I don't think that's the worst big call I've done this year.
No, it's not the worst. Every time you put North into a big call, it's been your worst.
Yeah.
But
I did say Tom Lynch to kick 8 one week and he kicked 0.
0-4.
Did his hammy.
Did 0-4 and did a hammy. Well, he was on track if you kick straight and didn't pull a hamstring. So that one wasn't terrible.
No. But 3 and 30?
Look, he's every chance. He's Nat Fyfe. So it'll be interesting. We'll have to wait and see.
That's what a big call is. I'm not going to go... I'm not going to go something predictable, am I?
Absolutely not. We love a bit of Nat Fyfe talk on this channel too. We've spoken a fair bit about him in today's episode.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think for episode 100, if we do a big call next week, we have a sting for me, please.
We'll get one. We'll get one organised.
I feel a bit left out where you've got one and I don't. So,
well, if you start getting some big calls right, we'll work on a sting. Yeah. So,
all right, fair enough. All right, well, that is it. And yeah, next week is episode 100. We've got some big things planned. So. Make sure you are definitely listening to next week. It's going to be very exciting and a lot to celebrate. We've come a long way, and who would have thought we'd be 100 episodes in? So, very exciting things for next week.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. We said it before, we've come such a long way and, really thankful for the support we've had along the journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a really special episode for us and hopefully everyone else out there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, enjoy this week of footy. Good luck to your team if they're playing. And yeah, we'll chat next week on episode 100.